RAS? What the heck is that?
Have you ever listened to a podcast or a YouTube fantasy football channel and heard them reference RAS? It stands for Relative Athletic Score, a metric for gauging a player's ability. It's more than just a 40 time, although it is that too. And there's more to it than just the higher the number, the better the player. Welcome to Shut Up Football. I'm Jeff Stoltzfus. That's Kevin. Today we're talking about the Relative Athletic Score, sometimes referred to as a RAS or a RAS score, which doesn't make sense because that's a Relative Athletic Score. That's just redundant. We're going to talk about what it is, what goes into it, and how you can use it to evaluate players for your fantasy football team. RAS was created by Kent Lee Platt back in 2013. You can find it at ras.football. This is what it looks like. You can search and filter it a number of ways, find a player, click the link to bring up their card, and see their measurables in detail. It's a 0 to 10 scale, color-coded red, yellow, and green, like a stoplight. Every metric recorded at the NFL Combine or a player's pro day goes into it. Though not every player takes part in every drill, but whatever information is recorded goes into the RAS, which includes the 40-yard dash, marked at the 10, 20, and 40, the 3-cone, the shuttle, vertical, and broad jump. How does he do it? Math! What makes the RAS special is it includes the player's size and weight while comparing them to other players at their position, meaning it gives context to the numbers, not just in the current draft, but all the way back to the Revolutionary War times when Americans recorded their 40 times fleeing from the British. No, not that far. Okay, it goes back to 1987. That's 35 years of comparative data. As of 2022, the database had 21,000 players worth of information, and like the tapeworm inside me, it just keeps growing. Giving context for their size and position allows for a better overall evaluation of their athleticism. At least that's the hypothesis. It's been noted by some, including the math bomb himself, Kent Lee Platt, that RAS is more important for some positions versus others, such as tight end, offensive, and defensive linemen. Most of the elite tight ends you could think of recorded exceptional RASs. Other positions, such as wide receiver and running back, RAS might be slightly less important because there are different types. For instance, it doesn't differentiate between a slot receiver or a split end or a grinder versus a scat back. It just measures athleticism. You could make the case that for quarterback, it doesn't matter at all. Lots of successful quarterbacks have had below average scores. Look at that bomb. The bomb is angry. Tom Brady made the bomb angry. So what's a good RAS? Well, an average score for an NFL player is 7.16, and that's still yellow-coded on the site. Anything below 5 displays as red, and any number 8 and above shows as green. Of course, just because someone has a great RAS doesn't mean they're a superstar in the making. Don't go lubing up the slip and slide to a gold jacket in the Hall of Fame just yet. Plenty of NFL busts have posted great RASs. It's a measure of athleticism, not an indicator of success. Don't view it as the higher the score, the better the prospect. It's more about meeting athletic thresholds. So how can you use this thing? Personally, I use the RAS 3 ways. The first is confirmation bias. If I thought a player was better or worse, and the RAS confirmed as much, hooray! Now I feel smart. If RAS and my gut agree, well, that just makes me feel better about me now, doesn't it? The second is the opposite. If I was all the way wrong on a player's ability, I will take another look at that player. Everybody makes mistakes. Maybe there's more than I saw the first time. However, I won't be talked into a player simply because they have a good RAS. That's a huge mistake. But if I'm in the late rounds of a Dynasty draft, chucking darts on undrafted free agents, might as well aim for the ones with the athletic upside. On the flip side, if a player I was all the way in on recorded a garbage RAS, I'm definitely going to fade them because the risk goes up. The last way to use the RAS is, assuming all things being equal, use it as a tiebreaker. If there are two players I like a lot and I'm forced to choose between them in my fantasy draft, RAS might just be the deciding factor for me. That's assuming those two players are at the same position. Of course, you could just ignore all of it, but go to ras.football and look up your favorite players. Better yet, search for the players on your team right now. You tell me what you find. Did you find some surprises or a few trends? Just remember, this is just one of the many tools when evaluating a draft class in your fantasy leagues. It doesn't beat opportunity or availability. It's just one more thing to add to your arsenal. Thanks for watching Shut Up Football. If you found this video informative or like football content in general, then please get to the buttons with the liking and the subscribing. I mean, shit.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.
Helps if your mic is turned on. Dumbass.